waking up and your phone won't stop buzzing. Atlanta police just hinted that Lil Baby might be linked to a gang war that left two 13-year-olds dead and an 11-year-old fighting for his life by noon. Every major news outlet in the city is covering it non-stop. Social media's exploding with hot takes. Everyone from your barber to your favorite podcast host has something to say. Then finally Lil Baby breaks the silence with just 3 words on Instagram. "I'm overly good." It sounds confident, like someone at the top who's brushing off the drama, but behind that cool post the situation is about to get very real. It all started back in May 2024 when Lil Baby picked a block in Atlanta's West End to shoot a new music video. The crew blocked off the street, brought in lights, cameras, dancers. The works shooting in the neighborhood he came from made it feel raw and real until the night when gunshots rang out. 3 people were hit, including 2 innocent bystanders. Lil Baby wasn't even on set when it happened and no one said he fired a weapon, but the whole thing looked bad. Fast forward to February 2025, police hold a press conference. They lay out a timeline: the main music video, the triple shooting, and then in July the killing of 2 teens and what police call a retaliation hit. They don't say Lil Baby's name directly, but the clues are obvious and everyone starts connecting the dots. That night Lil Baby posts his now famous line: "Thanks for all the concerns, please don't be misinformed by fake news. I'm overly good." No video, no explanation, just a message saying he's untouchable. His legal team fired back hard. They said blaming a rapper for violence after a video shoot was complete nonsense. They pointed out Lil Baby doesn't personally choose filming locations, that's a production decision, and they reminded the public of all his community work, scholarships, mentoring, neighborhood cleanups in the same areas now under fire. At first the public leaned in his favor. Fans and influencers started questioning whether police were trying to blame a superstar for something he didn't do just because of his fame. But then came April 1, 2025, and everything changed. In a Fulton County courtroom, a veteran gang investigator testified during a separate trial for the Goodfellas gang. She played wiretap recordings where 2 men were caught talking about tickets on people's heads, street slang for putting a bounty on someone. She claimed those tickets were placed by Lil Baby himself. One voice, identified only as UNK, told an associate, "Dominique Jones got tickets on a lot of people's heads." That changed everything. Now it wasn't just about a video shoot gone wrong, it was about alleged murder for hire. Things took a serious turn. Lil Baby's team suddenly went silent. No more Instagram posts, no official statements, and the rumors took off fast. Some fans claimed that federal agents had questioned him. Comment sections were full of questions like, did they cuff him? Is he under investigation by the feds? Even without an arrest, just the idea of a federal investigation sent shockwaves through the hip-hop world. To really understand how serious this is, you need to know about something called hearsay, the wiretap recordings that mention Lil Baby. They don't actually have him saying anything, it's just other people talking about him, what they think he did in court. That's a big problem. Hearsay can be tossed out because it's often unreliable, basically gossip. Lil Baby's lawyers are going to fight hard to get those tapes thrown out, saying they're nothing but rumors. And there's another twist: the person on the other end of those wiretaps, Condy Sanders, has a messy history. Reports say Sanders once tried to extort Lil Baby for $5 million, threatening to expose damaging stories if he didn't get paid. If that's true, it gives the defense a huge angle. He had a reason to lie. Now imagine this in court. Sanders admits under oath that he tried to shake down Lil Baby and then turned around and told investigators whatever they wanted to hear to cut a deal for himself. That's the kind of courtroom drama defense attorneys dream about, and they've got more plays coming. One big one: going after the credibility of the gang investigator. She was the star witness in the Young Thug RICO case, one of the longest and most expensive trials in Georgia's history. But in that trial she faced heavy criticism. Judges and defense lawyers challenged her knowledge of gang slang, questioned how she defined gang roles, and even doubted her understanding of what made a group a criminal enterprise if she messed up once. Lil Baby's legal team will use those transcripts to show that she can't be trusted. Meanwhile, Lil Baby's been making moves. In December 2024 he announced that his label 4PF, 4 Pockets Full, was being shut down and replaced with a new one, Glass Window Entertainment. At first it looked like a simple rebrand, but now it looks like a legal strategy. Prosecutors have accused 4PF of operating like a criminal gang, but if Glass Window is a new company with a clean slate, Lil Baby can argue it's just a regular music label, not part of any criminal organization, and it could help him dodge a RICO case. But here's the twist: Lil Baby's team isn't the only one preparing. The Georgia Public Defenders Council, the group that represents people in gang cases, has reportedly started mobilizing resources for a potential RICO indictment against both 4PF and its rival crew OMF. Only my family. That kind of early preparation? It usually means one thing: an indictment is coming. Defense teams are already scrambling and charges haven't even been filed yet. That tells us something big. Prosecutors have likely signaled that a major RICO case is coming, and if it does, the consequences could be massive. RICO laws come with mandatory minimum sentences way longer than typical charges, plus if violence is involved, defendants usually don't get bail. That means jail time before the trial even starts for Lil Baby, one of the biggest stars in music. That could mean no touring, no recording, and no brand deals for months or even years. His entire career could be put on pause. But while the headlines focus on Lil Baby, there's a deeper tragedy here that can't be ignored. In July 2024, two 13-year-old boys, Lamont Freeman and Jackie Davis, were killed. An 11-year-old boy survived but was left with life-changing injuries. These weren't just names in the news, they were real kids with families, dreams, and futures, and now they're gone, caught in a war that should have never reached them. Any legal strategy has to acknowledge that if Lil Baby's defense comes off as cold or dismissive, the public backlash could be just as devastating as the courtroom. So what's the game plan for his legal team? 1. Suppress the wiretap evidence. If the recordings don't actually feature Lil Baby's voice and it's just other people talking, his lawyers will argue that it's all hearsay and it should be thrown out. To attack the lead investigator's credibility, they'll use past court transcripts, especially from the YSL trial, to point out her mistakes or inconsistencies. 3. Defend Glass Window Entertainment. Lil Baby's new label will be positioned as a real business, not a gang front, making it harder for prosecutors to apply RICO laws. 4. Bring in character witnesses. Expect to see community leaders, non-profit partners, and maybe even public officials vouch for Lil Baby's positive work in Atlanta. 5. Fight hard for bail. Keeping him out of jail would allow him to keep working both on his defense and on his music. But make no mistake, this entire legal battle will play out in the public eye. Fans will break down every rumor. Was he arrested by the feds? Is he under house arrest? Every court update will be analyzed online. Meanwhile, brands and sponsors will be watching closely. Some might pause or cancel deals, others may change contracts to protect themselves just in case charges stick. And yet this moment is also a test of the very thing that made Lil Baby who he is: adaptability. From a street mixtape star to a Grammy-nominated artist with millions of fans, he's always known how to pivot when the pressure's on. Now he's facing the biggest challenge of his life, and how he handles it might define the rest of his career. Lil Baby has become a mainstream icon, known not just for his music but also for how he's grown as a businessman and public figure. He's shifted from street-focused songs to more personal, introspective tracks. He's invested in Atlanta real estate-led community cleanups and created scholarship programs for youth. On the surface, he's an artist trying to move beyond the street life and leave a lasting positive legacy, but now everything is on the line. In the next 90 days, prosecutors may unseal RICO indictments that could turn his entire life upside down. RICO cases aren't about one or two charges, they're complex webs of allegations like drug trafficking, conspiracy, and even murder for hire. If just one part sticks, it could bring everything crashing down. For Lil Baby, the stakes are personal. He's a father, he's built a global brand, he's at the peak of his career. If he's locked up before trial, he could lose his momentum, his income, and even key relationships. And if he takes a plea deal to avoid prison, that could protect his freedom but damage his reputation forever. So what's next? If his legal team can tear apart the wiretap evidence and expose flaws in the prosecution's theory, he might walk free. But if this goes to trial, the jury will have to decide: are these just rumors and rap slang or real criminal activity? And if indictments drop with $1 million bail, he could be in a jail cell before he ever gets the chance to speak to fans. This isn't just celebrity news, it's a real-life example of how fast things can turn. One day you're shooting a music video in your old neighborhood, and the next you're the target of a federal investigation. This case shows the power of wiretaps, the risks of hearsay, the reach of RICO, and how dangerously thin the line between entertainment and real life can be. If you've been following this story, hit like, share this video with someone who needs to see the full picture, and subscribe so you don't miss the next update. Drop a comment below. Do you think Lil Baby will beat the charges? Or is the net closing in too fast? The next chapter of this story will unfold in an Atlanta courtroom, and we'll be right here breaking it all down.